Japan is the third largest economy of the world, but the IT sector of Japan is still catching up as it stands 10th in the global ranking. That's why there are a lot of opportunities related to IT sector in Japan. And according to a report, by 2030, there will be a shortage of 600,000 IT workers in Japan. And because of that, many companies in Japan are welcoming foreign IT people, and many of them don't even require Japanese language. I myself work in an IT company, and maybe in another video I will share my experience that how I graduated from a Japanese university and then I got job in Japan. But today I'm inviting a friend who got hired in Japan directly from Bangladesh. Let's learn from his experience that how someone from IT sector can find and apply for jobs in Japan. And at the end of the video, I will share some links and websites where people from IT sector can search for jobs which don't require Japanese language. But before that, let's talk to our friend who got directly hired in Japan from Bangladesh. So thank you very much, Shafayat, for making time today. So can you please give our audience a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Harrison. So, for inviting me to share my experience in Japan.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So, yeah, let me introduce myself first. My name is Shafat Nobi Chaudhary. So, I'm from Bangladesh. So, currently, I'm working in Pepe Corporation as a backend engineer. So, I just moved here in Japan in last year. So, it's only been 10 months. I am a computer science and engineering graduate from University of Dhaka.
Oh, very famous university in Bangladesh, right?
Yeah. Yeah. University of Dhaka is very famous for like its cultural or political influence in Bangladesh. And so after graduated from University of Dhaka in 2018, I joined a company named AnyConnect Bangladesh. So after 2 and 5 years later, I moved to another company in Bangladesh named Tiger IT.
Tiger
IT Limited.
So just to summarize, after your graduation, you work with AnyConnect
Yeah.
for the streaming applications
Yeah.
from different cameras,
Yeah.
and then Tiger 80
Tiger IT. Yeah.
for kind of security scanning
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and all that. And now you work in Pepe.
Pepe.
So I think the very important thing, which I think is the theme of the video as well, that how did you get hired in this company, which is in Japan, and you applied from Bangladesh, right?
Yeah.
So what was the process? Can you give us a go through about that?
Yeah. So I give interview in Pepe in 2021 September.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, I was contacted by a recruiter from a Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Japanese recruiter?
The Japanese recruiter.
Through LinkedIn?
Yeah, through
LinkedIn in Japan is very active. So as Shafayat mentioned, it's very important to keep your portfolio updated on LinkedIn. And once you have a particular experience which companies in different countries are interested in, they contact you, and as in the case of Shafayat as well. After they contacted Shafayat, he applied directly on the PayPay's website.
Yeah. So I think Harris will share the Pepe's career site in
Sure.
the description.
Sure, sure. I will
So after contacted by the recruiter, I applied in the Pepe's career site. So in the career site, there are several jobs like backend engineer, Android engineer, iOS engineer, or front end engineer. So you can apply what is suitable for you. So after applying, in around 1 week after, I get a mail from Pepe. So it says that I passed in the resume screening.
The first stage.
First stage. So it's also important that you need to have a good resume, or all the information of yours is like written in the resume, like a simplest way. Yeah.
According to the job description.
Job description. And so after passing the resume screening, Pepe sent me a coding test, and coding test link. So coding test link is like it's a problem solving for 90 minutes. It have two problems. One will be easy, and one will be medium or hard level based on the randomly picked, I think.
I think it's very common for software-based companies to have programming tests. I think
Task,
they only ask you about the programming languages which you have experience, right?
yeah.
So, was it any different? Was the test any different from the kind of tests you had in Bangladesh, or was it something similar?
No, I think it's the like generic type of coding like asked by lots of other tech companies.
I see. I see.
So if you practice in the lead code or hacker rank type of problem solving side, I think you can do the code. You can solve the coding question very easily.
I see. I see.
So,
So after you passed the coding test,
yeah.
so what was your next stage?
So after passing the coding, you will have a 3 or 4 stage of interview.
Mm.
And so in the first after the coding question, you will have a 1 hour interview with the senior engineer in Pepe.
That is your first interview.
Yeah, it's my personal experience. I don't know how it is taken now, but in my case, it was a senior engineer who will do a 1 hour interview. So after 1 hour interview, it's just a generic question generic question from CS field. So generic question from CS, generic question from database field. So
Technical interview.
basic. So if you have basic knowledge of computer science, you will pass in the interview.
I see.
And after that, if you pass the interview, after that there will be two
More interviews.
more interviews. It's more specific to the like data structure and algorithm. Like there are two interview. 1 hour interview is for data structure and algorithm, and another 1 hour is system design. Like in system design is very familiar in technical technical side. So it's just you just need to draw a high level design of mm, some service. Like they can ask you to draw a high level design of e-commerce website, or how you or a payment service. That
To
type
kind of judge your overall knowledge about the
yeah.
field.
It's just high level. You don't need to do the depth.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So then I think it's your final interview with the HR or
HR,
maybe with
yeah.
the manager.
Yeah. So after the last two interview, if you passed, you will get call from the HR, or there are another interview. It's like hiring manager can also can take an interview how you culturally fit with the company, or how you or also your behavioral, or also ask some behavioral question.
To kind of judge if you come to Japan, will you be able to settle in here?
Yeah,
or
yeah, that's
I see. I see. So that is the final interview.
yeah, yeah.
I see. So after the final interview, how much time did they take to inform you that you got the job?
It's 1 to 2 weeks.
I see.
Yeah.
That's fast actually.
Yeah.
So I think next question is very important because whenever people think about applying jobs applying jobs in Japan, Japanese language comes into your mind. So how was your experience? Did you have any Japanese language knowledge before, or was there any requirement for the Japanese language for this job?
Unfortunately, I have no Japanese language experience. Also, product department, like engineering side, Pepe also doesn't need any Japanese language.
See. So was it mentioned by the recruiter in the first message that Japanese language is not required for the job?
Yeah, yeah.
I see. So it was made clear to you
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I see. So as you mentioned that your job is technical and it doesn't need like any Japanese language knowledge. So tell us about your team members. Are they all Japanese or like foreigners, and do they communicate in English or in Japanese?
Yeah, my all team members are we like Pepe's engineering team's language is English.
I see. So the
So
official language is in English.
official language is English.
Mhm.
But if you don't know Japanese or English, we have also translator in our company.
I see.
So some marketing team wants to us communicate.
Mhm.
So but we don't have a common language to
Mhm.
share, so we can use a translator.
I see. So,
Yeah.
like, are there any Japanese members in your team?
Yeah, we have one Japanese member in my team.
I see. And, like, how big is your team?
My like my team is backend engineer
Mhm.
in growth, so it's like I think 14 members.
14 members.
Yeah.
And only one of them is Japanese.
Yeah.
Very foreign friendly
Yeah.
environment, I think.
Pepe is like very diversified country, like diversified company.
Mhm.
So it has like more than 40 it has people from more than 40 countries.
I see. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
I see. So, Shafayat, please tell us about the work culture of Pepe. I think it's a Japanese, pure Japanese company, right?
Yeah.
So, tell us your experience about work-life balance and the overall culture of the company.
Yeah, so thank you. Work hour of like work culture of Pepe or work hours is like very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to work like from 10 and from 6:45.
Mm-hmm.
So and do the all the works in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose you have some work in the morning, so you can just start from the 2 p.m.
I see.
and
So you can
finish.
flexibly choose your time.
Yeah,
I see.
flexibly choose your time, but you have to communicate it to your teammate. Like
I see.
suppose you are working with your teammates, but you are not like you have a meeting in the morning, but you are not available. So you need to communicate with your
I
teammate.
see. So you just have to kind of keep in mind the team activities, for
Yeah.
example, meetings.
Yeah.
And other than that, you can fix your work schedule according to your preference.
Yeah.
I see. So I think it's also important to discuss before coming to Japan about the salaries.
Yeah.
That how much salary should someone expect, for example, for a beginner role or for a role with maybe few years of 2 or 3 years of experience. So firstly, please give us an idea about the salaries in Japan, and also how do you compare it with Bangladesh? Like, are they, like, the difference is too much, or they are in the same range?
So before when I get the offers, I put in mind that how much expensive is Japan than Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose you can compare the rent.
Mm-hmm.
In from Bangladesh, it's like 5 times greater. Like Japan's rent is 5 times greater than the Bangladesh.
I see.
And also I checked the food price or other cloth price and the utility bills, and I mm, checked that, and I think it's suppose you have uh, X, you have salary in Bangladesh X, you can like multiply by 5
I see.
in Japan.
I see. And in the same range, the expenses will also be multiplied.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it becomes important that how much you save.
Yeah.
So I think your savings will also be 5 times higher,
Yeah.
given that you kind of save, for example, a fixed percentage of your salary, right? So one thing I want to ask is, after you get the job offer and your salary is decided, so rest of the procedure, for example, visa procedure and your flight schedule and all that, is it managed by the company, or do you have to do anything by yourself as well?
Yes, it's managed by the Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
So Pepe, but Pepe is not a relocated company. Pepe is outsourced the relocation process to another company. That
I see.
company is responsible for the all the visa and relocation work.
I see. Shafayat, now please, can you give us some ideas from your experience that how someone, for example, like you, who has 2 or 3 years of experience in IT, how can they prepare for jobs in Japan?
Okay. So, uh, Japan's, it's not a like a specifically to Japan's company. I think it's uh, same to all the other tech companies in all over the world. So I think so for preparation, I think we need to have a basic knowledges of data structure, algorithm, and other computer science related topics like database or uh, a database and the data algorithm type of things.
So for example, the basic topics of the domain which you are applying. For example, I'm machine learning engineer, so I need to have basic machine learning knowledge,
Yeah.
and for example, algorithms
Yeah.
and different frameworks for the machine learning. I see. So like basic technical preparation, right?
Technical preparation.
So
Also, if you are experienced guy, so you also need to clear mind about what you done in the previous, like, because it's the experience experience you will show to the company.
you are also selling your experience to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I see.
So what you are done previously, you need to clear about it.
I see.
Yeah.
You need to present it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see.
So for the also the our like tech companies interview is mainly focusing on problem solving. So problem solving means you will give a hypothetical question or a need to solve some mm, technical question. So for this, I think people can and practice in lead code or hacker rank type of problem solving side.
And now, please, in the end, let us know about your daily life experience in Japan. How do you find Japan? What are the things you liked about Japan after coming
Yeah. So I think it's been only 10 months
here?
in Japan for me, but I think I'm still enjoying my Japanese life, like because it's a like very peaceful country. One thing I will mention that it's like Tokyo's public transport system is like world class, I think. So if you live in Tokyo, you don't need any cars or other your personal vehicle. You can go to any place using the public transport.
I see. Well, now that you have mentioned about the transportation system, can you tell us about the type of work? For example, do you have to go to office every day or is it work from home?
Yeah, in Pepe is like Pepe's work system is based on remote.
I see.
Remote, so you don't need to go to office every day. So if there is a team like team requirement, if you need to go to office like some meetings or some special, but I joined I came to Japan in last May, but I don't need to there is no meeting that type that I need to go to office.
I see.
But I go to office occasionally with uh,
Just to change the environment.
change the environment and meeting with my teammates.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
and
I
lunch
see.
together.
Thank you very much, Fayed, for sharing your experience. It was very insightful, and I hope it will be helpful for the people who are considering to apply for jobs in Japan. So, yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Hassan, for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you for watching the video so far. And at the end, I would like to introduce 3 options to find jobs in Japan. On top of the list is LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can come across a lot of diverse opportunities in IT sector by simply searching it in the LinkedIn bar. On LinkedIn, you can also get in touch with a lot of recruiters who are specifically hiring from foreign countries for the IT jobs in Japan. And the second option for IT jobs in Japan is a website called Tokyo Development. And you can go to the website and you can search with the keywords related to the IT jobs in Japan. And you can even select different options like no Japanese required. And it will give you a list of lot of companies where you can apply based upon your experience. And lastly, if you want to apply directly to companies instead of through LinkedIn or through the websites like Tokyo Dev, you can search for the companies on the Google, and on their career page, you can submit the application for the job. And if you submit a lot of applications, you will definitely get some responses from the company's HR, and they can conduct and arrange interview for you. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any more questions about finding jobs in Japan in IT sector, please write your questions in the comment and I will try to answer them as much as possible. Thank you very much.